Oh, no, no, no. I'm just gonna do this really quick because my car is nagging me and won't stop nagging me. The maximum fill line is down there somewhere, but I don't really care too much. Oh wow. It really was low. But yeah, this is just some out-of-zone windshield washer fluid. You know, it's still windshield washer fluid. It still goes to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is good enough. It won't freeze for the most part. The idea is if you go to a gas station and buy windshield washer fluid, you're paying like $3 to $5 for it. Whereas if you just go to AutoZone and buy it, it's like $2 and something cents. And you know, it still works fine and it smells good when you use it. Now, lately it's also been difficult to open up the hood latch mechanism. So what I'm going to try doing is I'm going to try squirting PB Blaster into this mechanism. Normally I would use WD-40, and I don't remember where, but I once remember reading somebody in some forum somewhere said either don't use WD-40 or don't use PB Blaster because one of them like lubricates, one of them is meant for busting bolts, and you know it will cause rust. But it says over here it's a lubricant, and well, let me see if I can get it to focus. Come on. Oh, you piece of... There we go. Does not evaporate. It's a lubricant. It's a rust inhibitor. And somewhere it's like it says water displacement, which is what WD-40 essentially is. WD-40 is water displacement 40th formula. And this is PB Blaster. So I'm going to use my flashlight here to just look really quick, make sure I'm not doing anything stupid like spraying it on the radiator. And yeah. I'm going to be doing this through a Snapchat video because Snapchat allows me to use flash and video. But see here we have rusty springs, blah 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 blah. See that little gray plastic bit? I guess that's where the cable from the inside goes to open the hood latch. And then the rest of this shit, I don't really know what it is, but I'm just gonna hit everything here. Okay, so I'm just basically oiling up this entire mechanism, and you know, I'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll hit the spring here, I don't know. Yeah, just... yeah, and that'll just soak and that'll do what it'll do. I feel like it's already starting to feel better, maybe. So, we'll see how it goes. So I'm just gonna allow this to sit for a day. It's already starting to feel better, at least around all of these parts. And if it doesn't help, then I guess it must be like a spring or something on the inside of the car. Because all this really is just one cable that goes through the whole thing, I think. So it's either a spring there or a spring here. And if that doesn't fix it, then it's probably something wrong with this entire mechanism. We'll see. But, you know, in and of itself, this is not a huge problem. I just don't want to break that plastic latch one day from trying to open it so hard. We'll see how it goes. Just gotta let this sit for about a day, let it penetrate the rusting, lubricate crap and all that crap. Please stop. There we go. Okay. Hey everyone, how's it going? The roads here suck here. And today we have 175,642 miles. For all intents and purposes, 175. Time to do an oil change. This oil change is a little bit delayed because either it was snowing or raining or I didn't have time. So, I ended up going 642 miles over what my scheduled service that I set for myself is. That's okay, that's fine. Because this oil can still go probably for another 1,000 or 2,000 miles just fine. It was 5W30 oil. It was a brutal winter, lots of cold starts, lots of driving less than 5 miles, tons of engine on and off, because grocery getting and all that fun stuff, pushing it hard on the highway, so on and so forth. This oil change cycle, it's been hard on the car, but even so, the oil is still in good condition. So, even though this oil can probably go 7,000 miles, this is why I change it every 5, because if it so happens that I have to really push the car in between service intervals, the oil is going to handle it just fine, even though it's particularly abusive. So, even though we're 642 miles over what I have scheduled for myself, we're still good to go. Because the owner's manual calls for normal oil, but I use full synthetic. So, but I still just go by the book, replace the oil every 6 months or... Well, not quite by the book. The book says every 3,000 miles or 6 months. Well, I just replace it every 5,000 miles. So, the brutal part of the winter is over. Now the mornings are over 0 degrees Celsius. That's more than 32 freedom units of temperature. So I don't have to deal with the very cold starts. So I can use 10W30 now. So I'm going back to 10W30. Last time I put in 5W30. And AutoZone, once again, did better than Advanced this time. Normally I get my oil and filter at Advanced Auto Parts, but I got this filter at AutoZone with this oil. It was 5 quarts and this filter for like $28.99 or something like that. Normally Advanced has the Purolator Boss filter, which is my favorite filter, by the way, and 5 quarts, but for like $30 or $32 or something like that. So AutoZone did better, and that's where I ended up getting the oil and the filter. And this filter is rated for 10,000 miles, and I've used this one before, and I haven't cut this filter open, but I am very satisfied with this filter's performance. So if the Purolator Boss lasts 15,000 miles, I change oil and filter every 5,000 miles, more or less. So, a 10,000 mile filter, it's not a step down for me. Plus, this filter seems to do a great job, actually. Sometime around, you know what, I might actually save the filter that I've got on, since it's got like over 5,000 miles on it. And yeah, I'll save that filter, I'll cut it up someday. But for now, we're switching from 5W30 to 10W30. We're using the STP Extended Life oil filter instead of the Purolator Boss filter because AutoZone had a cheaper price than Advance this time, for the second time in a row now, which is quite nice. And we have 642 miles over what my intended goal is, but that's okay. The oil will probably be more used looking, but it's still fine. I'll show you the dipstick in a minute so you guys can see that it's, not black, but, it's not exactly nice. It's at the time where I want to change it. So, let's pop open the hood. Oh, yes. Now it's so much good the next... so much good. So much better the next day. Trying to get the camera to focus here, but, oil is at just the right level. And as you can see, there we go. It's that kind of brown. So this oil is still good to go for quite a while, actually, which isn't that bad, but yeah, it's at the point where I want to change it. Anyways, also worth mentioning, I've driven the car today, so I got it up to operating temperature, and you know, when it's at operating temperature, the oil to the touch is scalding hot. So I've let the car sit for an hour, so it went from scalding hot to quite warm. I want the oil to be warm to get as much of it out as possible. So let's get to work. Actually, now that I think about it, this oil is a lot cleaner than it should be, and it has more miles than what I normally put on it, so I'm definitely going to save the filter and see what's up with that, because that's interesting. I don't know. We'll see how it looks when we drain it, but on a dipstick, it doesn't look that bad at all. Anyways, you guys know the drill quite well, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I believe this is a 12 millimeter. Well, this is actually a 13 millimeter, but that's because this drain plug isn't the original one that came with the car. Pull it down. This car has been through hell over the past cycle. Snow, cold, on and off. The engine on and off, that is. Crashed once. Acceleration, deceleration, this, that. Whew. Anyways, that would appear to be ready to go. Toss that aside. Put this down here. Start unscrewing this and hopefully not make a big mess here. If I don't get the glove dirty, I'm a champ. Alright? Let's see how that goes. Aha! Oh, well, okay. I got one thing dirty, but that's okay. Feast your eyes, Instagram. Okay. Now, at this point, what I like to do is take the filter off and then let everything drain for about 30 minutes to an hour. So as much of the oil that I can get out of this comes out of this. Now, you're not going to get all of the oil out, okay? Not all of it, but you are going to get a good amount out. Any place that does an oil change in 5 minutes or less is doing it wrong, okay? Because, you know, there's still going to be like anywhere from 0 to a quart of oil left in this thing, but you want to get all of the old stuff as much as possible out of there. So you just let it flow out. When you go to a 5-minute place, you know, place that advertises 5-minute oil changes, one, they're giving you cheap oil, so, you know, it only lasts 3,000 miles. Two, they're dropping the filter and plug out. Maybe they even leave the filter in, who knows. And, you know, they drain the oil for 5 minutes and then they stop it back up even though not all of it is out yet. And the result is they insert less of the cheap oil while charging you for the full amount. And, you know, it'll mix out with the oil, the old oil, and, you know, not much harm will come of it in the immediate sense, but over the long term, you're not doing your car any favors by giving it less than clean oil. Okay, so this is why I just like to give it an hour to drain. So, you know, that's doing its thing. I'm gonna rip the filter off, and then, like I said, give it an hour, you know, 30 minutes to an hour to just drain. So let's get to that. everything. Just let it sit for like 30 minutes now, and we'll come back to it in a bit. The sunlight is fading, but you guys know how the rest of the oil change will go, but there's something else that I wanted to try today. Let's get back to work like nothing ever happened. You all know the drill. I'm gonna just push this aside here. I'm gonna clean up the drain plug area. I'm gonna put the drain plug in, and then I'm gonna clean up the oil filter area, and then I'm gonna put the filter in. You guys have seen this bunches of times, so I'm just gonna do it without talking, so please excuse me for that. But as you can tell, it's very dark outside now, and I just want to finish, so yes. Okay, make sure there is no double gasketing before you put the new filter on. I like that a lot. That is very nice. Now we're just gonna add oil onto the gasket and screw it on. Okay, and that's it. Next order of business is to clean up and make sure nothing leaks and take it for a test drive. So, close this. Take out all the stuff from under there. So, taking this out, taking this out. Assuming nothing goes wrong, then this is the end of the video. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you like, subscribe, comment, and so on and so forth. Take care.